Hello, hello. It's been a while, hasn't it? Today I want to talk about Vivid Stasis, a visual novel inside of a rhythm game. Of course, story modes aren't anything new to rhythm games. We have 𝐭𝐝𝐲, we have Demo, and more. But this game goes about things in a really unique way, so let's talk about it. By the way, if you do end up enjoying this video, please consider subscribing and leaving a thumbs up. It really helps. When you first enter this game, it wants to know a bit more about you. So you're asked 9 questions and are given some options to respond. After that, some interesting things start to happen, and then the tutorial begins. This game mostly functions as your average 4K rhythm game, with your usual inputs being singular notes and hold notes, etc. We're already used to these kinds of things. Where it gets interesting is the introduction of bumpers. These notes will either cover the 2 left lanes or the 2 right lanes. However, as much as it looks like it, this is not a double. Instead, you only need to hit one of the lanes that the bumper covers in order to successfully hit one. These bumpers are genius for so many reasons, one being that it adds something new to the usual 4K formula. There's now something new to be aware of, which makes this game's charts feel even more satisfying to play. They're multi-purpose as well. For example, a rush of left bumpers encourages you to alternate fingers in order to hit all of them, and a bumper in the middle of a hold note requires you to hit the lane that isn't covered by the hold note, if that makes any sense. The amount of times I've seen these things and my mind immediately thinks about hitting both lanes because it looks like a double is crazy. To me, this was the main source of difficulty for this game, trying to figure out how to hit these bumpers which were already intertwined with other mechanics of 4K rhythm games that I was already familiar with. In general, I love these mechanics, and I think the bumpers are the real bread and butter of what makes this game's charting so unique and fun to play. After that, I kid you not, the game crashes purposefully. At first I thought this was an issue on my end, but when I reloaded the game I was finally greeted to the title screen. Wow. Just wow. What kind of rhythm doctor shenanigans is this? On the menu screen we've got plenty of options here, those being rhythm play, Worldcross play, course mode, song shop, node flowchart, and of course your other basic things like your profile, system settings, and user manual. Let's start with rhythm play. Immediately from the get-go you have one song unlocked from chapters 1, 2, 3, and 4. The rest are unlocked through the story mode, but we'll get back to that. There's also the collab songs, the chapter 0 songs, and the songs that are unlocked from purchasing them in the song shop. There are plenty of songs here, so I don't think you'll ever get the feeling as the player that you're running out of things to play. Since you earn points simply from just playing songs, there's always the option to purchase new songs from the song shop. And when you end up playing the story mode, that's yet another option that you can unlock and play new songs from. Upon choosing the song to play, there are 3 to 4 different difficulties to choose from. Opening, middle, finale, and sometimes there's encore. A lot of options, which makes this not only beginner friendly, but also gives a fair challenge to people familiar with rhythm games. On top of difficulty, you can choose the note sound. I personally go with type 2. I think it sounds incredibly satisfying paired with the note. Just have a listen. You can change what displays at the top from the traditional combo to maybe accuracy if you prefer that. Seeing my accuracy constantly at the top of my screen would be very nerve-wracking for me personally, but you know, each to their own. And finally there's scroll speed and something called decryption style, which I had to look into a bit since I was a little confused about what this meant. Turns out this adds your health bar, or challenge gauge as the game likes to call it, with the different version of these giving different forms of difficulty. For example, ultimate mode will immediately fail you if you miss a note. Talking about notes, I have absolutely 0 complaints about the charting in these songs. This game doesn't sacrifice good charting just for the sake of making the chart more difficult, which is honestly great. Charting that feels good should always take top priority. I gotta give a special shout out to Signals of Far for its charting, even if I did suck at it. I've found that the background while you play these songs are the perfect mix of something that isn't bland, but also something that doesn't distract your gameplay. Plus, I really like these little floaty things. Whee! As for the collab songs, All the Times has a really fun mechanic which is reminiscent of the original, and other than one other collab song having a unique background, there's nothing else there that pops out to me. I think that sums up everything for rhythm play. Worldcross play allows you to play these songs online with others by either creating a room or joining one. Unfortunately, there's no public lobby since joining one requires a code, but you could always have a makeshift one by sharing room codes online. To be honest, there's not much else to it than that, but I'm happy that online play with friends is an option at all. In course mode, you tackle a playlist of 4 songs grouped together into what's called a class. Once you manage to tackle these 4 songs, your title changes on your profile to reflect the most difficult one you've completed, which is really great. The one thing about this mode is that unlike rhythm play where you can choose your difficulty, these have a fixed difficulty, making these classes a big challenge. Another thing, your health bar will actually carry over between these 4 songs, so if you've barely survived a song with 10 health per se, you'll have to do really well on the next song to make up for it. Other than that, well, I do have one complaint about this mode, but I'll talk about it when we talk about the story mode, since they kind of tie in. The song shop is pretty self-explanatory, but there is a secret contained within this shop called Final Landing, requiring you to buy 10 songs before you can enter it. Once you've entered, 5 unlockable songs are locked behind certain requirements, these requirements varying on what difficulty of that song you choose to unlock. And honestly, I think this is really cool. I always love having new songs to unlock just as an option, and this is a really interesting way to go about it. And last but definitely not least, let's talk about the node flowchart, or in other words, the story mode of this game. The story is about a girl called Saturday trying to find her lost sister, somebody by the name of Suki. The story very much feels like a murder mystery or a detective novel where the characters are finding clues and generally investigating to try and find a link between some very odd events, let's just say. Well, that's not creepy at all. In order to progress the story, you spend this unique currency known as batteries that are also earned along with shop points when you complete a song. From there, you can unlock nodes that branch out into new story episodes as well as new songs. Remember when I mentioned that I had a complaint with course mode earlier on? It's time to come back to that. For completing all 4 songs, you only earn an amount of batteries equal to completing 1 song. And to be honest, I don't really see why they've done this. You play through all 4 songs, so surely you should be rewarded with an amount of batteries equal to playing 4 songs in rhythm play, right? But complaints out of the way, I want to talk about story locks. While I've only completed chapters 1 and 2 so far, there's always a pattern of something intense or impactful going down near the end of a chapter. What follows is a lock, which requires certain conditions that need to be met to unlock them. Once you do, you're met with a puzzle to unlock the lock in the middle. To be completely honest with you, I just looked up the answers. I'm a complete idiot when it comes to puzzles. Once the puzzle is finally completed, an incredible song opener cutscene starts to play. Very reminiscent of the song opener cutscenes that would play in 𝐒𝐿 that were absolutely mind-blowing with their visuals. This game aims to do the same thing, and once it's done, you're placed into a boss level with a health bar. World locks in general remind me a lot of anomalies in 𝐒𝐿, where you would meet requirements to break the level and reveal secret songs underneath. Taking inspiration from 𝐒𝐿 or not, I absolutely love the execution of this in Vivid Stasis. Again, I've only seen the first 2 chapters, but the story of this game is looking like it's shaping up to be something incredible. And with that, I've covered everything I want to concerning this game. Again, this game is free, so I implore you to go and give it a try. Well, that's all from me for now. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you all later.